So, hello, Mess Luciano. I know
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Well, of course, I know who you are, but could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Well, my name is Luciano. I am a fashion designer based in Hong Kong, and I have a fashion brand called Mass Branded, which I started with my partner 2 years ago, and we're getting ready to get start our third collection. So it's really exciting.
Yes, tell us a little bit more about your brand and its evolution in the past seasons.
Well, our brand started with just a way for me and my partner to collaborate creatively. He's a photographer, and I've worked as a designer and a stylist in the past. And this was kind of a way that we can combine both of our creative efforts and work on a project together. And it's turned into a pretty good fashion brand, I think. We make statement pieces that stand out, but it's easy to wear. So we like it's casual without dressing down. And I think our evolution is just playing with different textures, unexpected materials, and updated every season with new silhouettes.
Yes, so tell me or us about the best part of designing a menswear brand or collection.
For me, the best part about designing menswear is that I get to wear the clothes. I first started off as a women's wear designer, and although I love designing women's wear, especially because there's lots of different categories and you can be a lot more daring and adventurous with the silhouettes, I can't wear the clothes. So with
Well, you
menswear, it's
could.
something that well, I could, but it's not particularly my style. So with menswear, at least specifically with my brand, I like to design stuff that I personally love to wear. So and it's great because even if it's a sample or on the build up to before we launch the collection, it's like I get to try on the styles. So if I like it, it's usually a good sign that our customers would like it. So that's something that I really, really enjoy doing. It's kind of like designing for yourself, if you will. And at the same time, I'm designing for lots of people who have the similar taste in fashion or who want to wear something that's unique or special. And it's great to have both.
Yes, and what's the toughest part to design a menswear brand?
I think the tough is probably more of a challenge of how to come up with creative and unique ideas, but still stay in line within what's acceptable attire for menswear. Unlike with women's wear, that you can take big risks and change the silhouette by making asymmetrical designs or different elements that women can get away with, I think still men, there is a special social norm of how men should dress. So I like designing stuff that's wearable. So yes, it might be a little bit pushing the boundaries with the different materials that we use, but at the end of the day, it's still a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, something that's familiar that the customer can understand. It's like, okay, it's a little bit risky, but it's not something that's completely out of the box that you'll feel uncomfortable wearing or ridiculed in public. So I think that's the challenge of finding that balance of being daring and updated and fresh, but still keeping that commercial aspect of it being wearable, something that you can wear every day. So, but I think that's the challenge. I love doing that. I like playing with those different elements, and it's worked for me so far. So.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the highlights from the fall winter collection, and spring summer is more or less here. In fashion, we talk
Yeah.
about the next winter season, but now let's talk about the highlights from the fall winter collection, spring summer 2018. What are the highlights at Mass Branded?
I'm really like layering, especially when it comes to spring. It's always like a transition phase. So it's still warm. Well, it's not. It's starting to be warm, but it's still cool. So you have to have layers to be able to take items off and put them back on when you're step in and out. So I like the versatility of the layering aspects of our collection. For our second collection, I was inspired by paratroopers. I really like the military aspects and the construction of uniforms. With all the, I grew up as a military brat. My father was in the U.S. Army, so I always would see him in uniforms and being in the military base and all of that. Army fatigue is something that I think I've always been inspired by. So in you'll see kind of like an updated, what will the modern paratrooper would wear, you know? So something a little bit daring because we have a.
So,
I can.
sorry for the interruption. We have some Monday morning technical problems here. We were talking about the highlights from the collection, and I have one thing here from your collection. And tell me a little bit about the fabric, because it's not an everyday fabric, right?
No,
So
well,
I
that
try to
particular
show.
style is made of a bonded jersey, which I guess the best way to describe it, it's similar to like a scuba diving material. So it has two fabrics sandwiched sandwiched with a foam in between, so it gives it a nice spongy textured feeling. But it's still quite sleek and modern. And we like combining black and white just for its graphic elements with the piping detailing and mesh on the sides, which is structured but still quite sexy too.
Yes, and I cannot wear it for you because it's not my size and I don't have a model here, but I wish I had one here because it's a little bit see-through on the sides. So if somebody has really nice muscles. So, yes. What sources of inspiration are your biggest influence?
I'm usually always inspired by architecture. As a kid, I wanted to be an architect. I love lines and seeing structure within buildings or even like open spaces and see how the different buildings, especially in a big city, how they kind of all merge together. So that's something that I always draw inspiration from and sports as well too. I love the Olympics, so I think any like the uniforms that the different athletes use throughout all types of sports, from fencing to gymnastics to basketball, it's kind of like just a great way. There's so much detailing there already, especially since we like playing with mesh. So it's kind of a good way to kind of give it an athletic feeling, but elevate it to high-end streetwear.
Okay. Do you have a favorite collection so far, or is it an item in every collection that is your absolutely favorite? Or
Well, right now I'm really loving our cloud sweatshirt, which and we since our collection for our second collection, it's called Paratroopers. We wanted to do something similar to a camouflage print, but instead of using camouflage, we wanted to use clouds to create the camouflage illusion. So we did it in black and in white, and I really, really love that style. I've been wearing it a lot, especially now that it's a little bit chilly and getting cold. It looks perfect by itself with the mesh back, which is sexy, and sometimes I wear it with the shirt underneath just to have the collar on top for the added warmth. And it just looks just as stylish. So that's my favorite style right now. And I think my favorite collection, I don't know, it just keeps getting better. Like right now, I'm working on the next collection, which comes out in February. And it's kind of like always exciting once you start designing and creating the new styles. I was at the factory today, handing over the designs to the workers there, and it's just I can't wait to see those. So I can't wait to show it with you guys once it's ready.
yes, how much of your success do you credit to the education you had?
Well, I went to school at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandise in Los Angeles, and I feel like in school, because of that education, I was able to land my first job as a designer for Guess Jeans, the famous denim company out of Los Angeles. So, but I learned a lot of my skills and techniques through experience. So I guess it's a combination of both. It's really important to know how to construct a garment and how it functions. So it's not just making a design that looks pretty. Like someone has to wear it. You have to be able to fit into it. You have to be able to get out of it. So there's lots of those things that you learn in school. So I feel like it's a combination of both my education from school and experience from work. Both of them has led to my success.
Yes, and some intelligent people always say you learn all your life. So,
Yeah, and you
okay.
just learn from like even from experience, just seeing how like for example, when we launched our collection 2 years ago, we know a lot more now than we did then as to who our customer is and what do they like, what type of styles they love, and even like where do they come from. Like since our shop is online, it's an international like we ship worldwide. So just to see that we get people from the Middle East. We have customers from Germany, from the UK, from Los Angeles, and Australia. And it's kind of like seeing, okay, where's our biggest market? And it's cool to see that as well too. It's a learning experience, all of it. So
So, where's your biggest market? Which country loves your collection most?
I think that right now the UK, we get a lot of orders from UK and from North America, and by North America I mean Canada and the US. I think those are our major ones, but we get a lot from Australia, some in Germany, and Spain is picking up too. So it's really exciting, especially since we love going to Spain. We've been there a couple of times this past year. We shot our latest campaign in Madrid. So it's nice to see that it's going global, slowly but surely.
Okay. What genre of music best describes your collections?
I think it would be more like urban pop, like a mix of hip hop with a sultry dance beat. I really like DJ Khalil. Listening a lot to Gabrielle Current and J Balvin with Willie Williams. Like those are on my playlist. It has like a really good beat to it, down tempo, not too loud, and I think our clothes kind of reflect that.
Okay. How do you choose your models for your show and your campaigns? So, if some models want to apply, how do you choose them? How can they double their chances to get a job at Mass Branded?
Well, definitely, we love finding models through Instagram. It's one of our favorite ways of not only communicating with our customers, but with our fans and people who like the brand. The type of model we usually select or things we look for in a model is someone who's a little bit rough looking, very masculine with an edge. We're not really into pretty boys or the conventional beauty. So it has to be something that kind of stands out more of the attitude and that vibe and a little bit less about the looks. Although looks are really important, but we're not looking for like the pretty face. We're looking for more someone who's more real, a little bit rugged. Well, I think our brand lends itself to that, especially when you're working with lots of sheer fabrics and stuff. You want to have a masculine element to it to kind of balance it.
Yeah, do you have any favorite male models?
Oh, my favorites, Sean Ross. I think he's amazing. He's very striking. Rob Evans is gorgeous. Like those lips and his skin color is fascinating. And I really like the Korean model Sang Woo Kim. So those would be the top three models on my list.
Okay. Where do you plan to take your brand next?
Well, we hope to go global with distribution. It's really important for us since we've been doing most of our sales has been online, and we also have a really famous store called Lane Crawford here in Hong Kong, who carries an exclusive collection that we designed for them. And we have one store in LA that carries this as well too. But ideally, hopefully in the next year, we'll have distribution in Europe, in North America, and the Middle East, at least to give a point of retail where customers can actually go and see the styles and try them on because that's the only element that I feel is missing from the online aspect. Like you can see it on pictures, but you can't feel it and touch it. And there's so much detail that goes into our clothes. So it would be great if we could be in some key retail stores, and that's our target to do so in the upcoming year.
So also going to fashion weeks and fashion fairs in Europe, do you already do this? Or because you said Hong Kong and it's not around the corner from Europe, so I'm sure it's
Yeah, we're a little bit kind of like shy to do fashion shows and runways in the traditional way. I think that we like the way we've been marketing our brand through social media. That way, we get more of a direct response from our customers and our followers. But yes, once we figure out the distribution and get that settled, then we will have a more presence in trade shows and have showrooms, hopefully throughout Europe and the U.S., where the buyers can see the collection, and which is really important for us.
okay. If you ever come to Germany, let us know. I'm just checking the weather. It's
Of course.
terrible. So, the last question, maybe. Beside fashion, do you have any other talents? Special talents?
Uh,
Dancing, singing?
wow. Well, I
Did
like to
you paint
sing,
the
but
pictures behind you, maybe? Because I always
oh,
look at.
I wish those were mine. Those are Murakami, so not definitely not me. Uh, besides fashion, I don't know. I don't really think I have many talents, but nothing that I'm really great at. I think fashion is the only thing that I really know I'm good at.
Okay, so
But I don't know.
do you have a hobby? You don't have to be good at a
Yes,
hobby, you just have to love it.
I love to cook. Thanksgiving was last week. And as an American, we celebrate Thanksgiving even in Hong Kong, and I made a really good pumpkin cheesecake that everyone was raving about. Unfortunately, they all ate it, and I didn't only was able to have one slice. And I'm kind of like, should I bake another one? I think so. But
You
that is
should.
something I enjoy to do.
So, your roots are in the USA, you said?
Yes, I'm originally from Puerto Rico. So my whole family, I was born in Puerto Rico and raised throughout the U.S. and in Germany because my father was in the U.S. Army. So we traveled a lot as a kid. So I'm Puerto Rican, and Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., which a lot of people don't know. So as a Puerto Rican, I'm also American.
Well, I'm afraid in the meantime, many more people know about Puerto Rico because of the awful hurricane. But my question was, can you tell us a funny cliche about the people from Puerto Rico that is actually true?
A funny cliche about Puerto Ricans are actually true. Well, there's lots of drag queens in Puerto Rico, and it's a cliche that all the drag queens from Puerto Rico are amazing, and I believe that is true. And as a big fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, seeing my Puerto Rican queens on that show is always something to be proud of. And besides that, we're really big on beauty pageants, which is kind of funny, me being a former Mr. Gay World. I think that we're pretty good at beauty pageants and drag queens.
And why do you think are so many drag queens coming from Puerto Rico?
I think that Puerto Ricans are quite talented in when it comes to putting on a show. Like there's lots of famous musicians like Ricky Martin, who come from Puerto Rico, Cheyenne, Daddy Yankee, even Jennifer Lopez has Puerto Rican roots. So it's always something that like we have like the perfect mixture of race and music to kind of strive in the arts. So I think anything that's kind of that shows off your talent and in a way that's appreciated by others is something that we're really good at. And I think drag queens, you have to have all of that. You not only have to put on a show, but the way you present yourself with makeup and hair and all of that glitter and pageantry is something that a lot of Puerto Ricans love to do. So I think especially within the gay community, it's a great way to see visibility and be appreciated for your efforts and looking good. And I think everyone could appreciate that.
Maybe you should one day design a special drag queen collection. Maybe. Think about it.
Maybe.
Okay, so you said it already. Instagram, social media, online. How can people find Mass Branded?
Well, you
Advertise.
can go to our website at massbranded.com for the latest collection and news. Subscribe to our newsletter. Anyone who subscribes to our newsletter receives instantly promo codes and the latest news of when new arrivals arrive. We don't bombard people with news all the time, so they usually receive one email a month. But with good deals. Instagram is a great place to see all of our work by my partner Anthony, who does all the photography and marketing. His photos are amazing. I think that has a lot to do with the success of our brand, is just because it's so visual, and it showcases the collection in the best light possible. So I think that's the best way to reach us. We have a YouTube channel, so you can see more interviews or videos of our collections in the past too. And hopefully in a store near you starting next year.
Okay, that's it. A very funny interview with technical problems. I say it again, Monday morning sucks. So, but thank you very much for your time. And I think it's evening in Hong Kong, or is it afternoon? I don't know.
Yeah, it's 6:40 p.m. in evening. It's almost dinner time. I don't know if you can see outside. It's already kind of dark. So and that's a giant TV screen outside my window.
Okay.
But it's hard to see.
So
Yeah, so it's nighttime.
enjoy your dinner, enjoy your evening, and
Thank you.
thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much. Bye.
Ciao.